Thank you very much, Yanni, and thank you very much for the Global Solar Council for the invitation and this important conference. Let me share my screen. First, let me introduce ASOLMEX. ASOLMEX is the Mexican Energy Solar Association, and we have a partnership of around 125 different companies scattered all over the value chain in the PV market, from investors, developers, service providers, equipment manufacturers. So we have the full range of the industry comprising in the association. Also, we have two major chapters in ASOLMEX, where one is takes care of the distributed generation part of the industry, and the other one the large scale solar projects. So those are the two main aspects that we're dealing in the association. So our main purpose here in ASOLMEX is to, especially right now in the situation that Mexico is facing right now, is to act as a speaker, as a promoter of energy solar with the authorities in designing energy policy directed to promote the solar use in Mexico. So right now it's a very challenging times, full of opportunities certainly, but also very challenging times in terms of what is changing the framework, the regulatory framework, the legal framework is the energy policy in Mexico is changing a lot with the new administration vis-a-vis what we had in the past years. In 2013, there was a big energy reform that allowed and expand the use of renewable energy in Mexico, especially solar facilities. But now, with a new administration entering into government, there has been a lot of backtracking with respect to that liberalization and that regulation that allow for private participation in the sector. So, as you have may hear from the press, this is a very challenging time for the renewables in Mexico. But let me try to introduce where we are right now with respect to solar PV in the country. I prepared this overall slide that summarize the status of the industry right now in Mexico. It's in Spanish, unfortunately. But basically what we have here is that about 5.5 gigawatts of installed capacity is already in operation. This is a capacity that is already working, is already generating electricity to the grid. Here we're not including about 2 gigawatts of capacity that is being built, and it will be ready by the end of this year, beginning of next year. So to this figure of 5.6 gigawatts, we have to add new capacity of around 2 gigawatts that is going to enter into operation by next year. Here in this figure is we add not only utility scale generation, but also the distributed generation. The investment that implies this capacity, this total capacity, is about $9 billion in direct investment. As you know, PV industry is a very, very intense generation of employment. Certainly in Mexico that's the case. One important feature in Mexico is that about 85% of the country has optimal conditions for PV development. So this is a country that basically all the territory has an optimal conditions for solar generation that makes very unique in terms of the resource available to expand investment in solar generation. As you know, I mean, this is not new for the audience. 76% of the cost of the technology, solar technology, has been diminished since 2010. So that's certainly an important element in the expansion of solar in Mexico. We have a great resource, but also a very competitive technology operating here. We expect the idea is that Mexico may be one of the 7 countries with more energy solar in the world. That's a target we have. We have to wait and see whether the new government allow for this expansion in the coming years. So that's something that we will have to wait longer in the game. With respect to solar, large-scale solar capacity, we have 68 facilities already in operation. The total capacity is 4.7 gigawatts of capacity for large scale. I have to mention that the largest PV solar facility in the hemisphere, in the whole Americas, is located here in Mexico. And I think is the second or third largest in the world. We're talking about a facility of around 850 megawatts of capacity, only in one facility in Coahuila. 16 state of the country has at least one PV facility in operation right now in Mexico. That so, as I mentioned, is very much spread all over the country where these developments are being installed and operation. With respect to this, distributed generation, that's a very dynamic market. Even now, in times where we have more challenging conditions, distributed generation is moving very swift, with a very good dynamic. Especially in C&I, commercial and industrial customers are very much keen to move into installing PV roof facilities. So that's a very dynamic, very profitable market, and certainly a big opportunity here in Mexico to expand in solar distributed generation. Right now, the contracts or the users already in operation is about 130,000 users. About one gigawatt of new capacity has been already installed. As I mentioned, this is a sector that there is a big generator of employment in the industry. And the savings you can have with respect to this part of the industries is very important. In some cases, 95% of savings vis-a-vis the utility tariff. So this again, this a very profitable proposition for the users, but also for the installers as a whole. As I mentioned, it's a very competitive technology. Also, before entering this new administration, and as a result of the energy reform in mid 2013, 15, there was three auctions, very important auctions, and very successful auctions, long-term auctions for new capacity. As a result of those three options, by now, by the way, I am just want to clarify that this auction process has been canceled. We don't know whether it's going to be restart in the future, but so far that mechanism for buying new capacities is on hold. But before the administration, as I mentioned, there were three auctions, very successful auctions that triggered 37 new projects and about 5 gigawatts of new capacity. Some of this capacity, this new capacity is already in operation, but all other about 2 gigawatts, as I mentioned, is in construction right now and will enter into operation by the end of this year, maybe next year. The investment result of these auctions is about $5 billion. And as I said, 23 facilities are already in operation, and the rest are coming into operation in the coming years. One thing to mention is that as a result of these auctions, Mexico was in the front line of more competitive PV energy delivered into the market with $18.93 per megawatt hour as an average price for the third auction. So as I mentioned, it was a very competitive, very open and transparent and successful mechanism, but unfortunately, the government has decided to suspend that mechanism at this point. Here we have a map of Mexico with the scatter of the facilities in these 16 states. Mexico has 32 states, so basically more than half of the country has at least one facility. In other cases, some states has like 10 or 8 facilities already in operation. So again, this is scatter all over the country how the solar development has been spread. Now that's part of where we are, but I consider it was interesting for this audience to understand where we are also in solar plus storage development. I would say that Mexico is not making big inroads in this sector, but at least we have one facility developed by Gauss Energía, Aura Solar 3. At least there is one facility that storage has already making an important inroad and is already in operation. This is a facility that was entered into operation in 2018 that comprised a solar facility with a large-scale battery or storage solution. You can see the containers of the storage solution here at the bottom of the picture, and you can see the solar facility in place. These are the specifications. So in this case, this is a 10 megawatt BESS battery storage solution operating in the solar facility Aura Solar 3. But basically, it's a 10 megawatt solution with 5.5 megawatt hour energy capabilities and half an hour duration for storage. And the important part here is that this facility is used for providing ancillary services and ramp administration, basically for the facility. And I mentioned this as an example of what's going on in Mexico, but what's happening is the authorities, the ISO, the Mexican ISO, SENACE, is moving into making an obligatory feature for all, in the future, for all solar facilities to include a battery storage solution in the future. Right now, it's not very clear how it's going to be operated, but the ISO here in Mexico is very keen to move forward with obliging all the developers to include some sort of a storage facility along with the PV facility in place. So here we see some of the arguments. In case I think they have some merit in this request. You have to be careful not to overdo it, because it really certain increase the cost of the development and investment. But what happened in the case of the Aura Solar 3 is that a cloud is coming into the facility, and you see this drop in capacity, and that's why the authorities are asking to manage the download of the ramp, so you have a less disturbance over the frequency regulation that you may cause. So here, Mexico and perhaps as the rest of the Latin American countries, the transmission grid is a big issue, and the way to react and the way that renewable energy, especially solar, may affect this transmission infrastructure, it may become an issue into the future. So, and the authorities, the ISO, is looking very careful how to manage and how to introduce new features in the technology to provide a better integration of solar into the national grid. Here there are some pictures of the facility. That will be all for me. Thank you very much.